one of my samples showed a cancer, and that was when it really hit home, I suppose. The consultant who just sat us down, me and my wife were there, and he said, "Fortunately, you've got prostate cancer." I've got to get rid of it, you know. I think that's what all men feels. Anything to do with cancer, I think most people feel the same way. But having reviewed some of the literature that they gave me to read through the various scenarios from radical surgery or radiotherapy, the side effects on some of that is not very good. I think some of the side effects of the other two are possible side effects. Not everybody gets it, of course, which is impotency, incontinence, doubly, bowel problems with the radiology stuff. Whereas, and I would find that is difficult to live with, is the other way, in truth. And so, when we agreed that we would join the program and be randomised, I was fairly thankful that I got what I got, which was active monitoring.
So that you need to tell them what they're going to hear, so that they can hear it always.
Actually, what they're going to hear is that's what I think we
get. And it's kind of like that last one, only obviously it's different, and maybe you could put the colours.
It wouldn't even matter if you just called it something else with the same content. You'd got quite a lot of detail about what you were doing, and I think that's what we need up here.
Most of the time we're able to tell whether a cancer is contained within the prostate or not. It's not 100%, but we can do that. What we can't tell with certainty is the potential for that cancer to become lethal in the long term. We can't tell this with any certainty, and that's why we need more research to identify that. We still have 10,000 men who die of prostate cancer in the UK, and what we have shown in the Prostate trial is that the methods for being able to judge whether a cancer is a bad one, aggressive, will kill a patient, or whether it's an indolent cancer, the methods are not very good and are not very reliable. So there is an element of uncertainty when a cancer is found as to whether it's likely to cause harm or not. And there's new research which is really needed to be able to identify lethal from non-lethal disease. What is the trade-off between the side effects that the treatment might produce and the longer benefits of curing the cancer and of living longer? And we don't, again, have the answer to that. We need more time, because we've had so few deaths in the trial. We've only had 1% of men who died.
So sexual function is affected in all the different groups because, of course, sexual function declines with age. So all the groups showed a decline in that. But again, the surgical treatment and the radiotherapy treatment both have a severe impact on sexual dysfunction, particularly in the first 6 months, and then that continues. They recover a little, but the decline continues, whereas the active monitoring men have a steady decline in their sexual function. That's one of the problems. The men who were tested with PSA had no symptoms at all. The men who have a diagnosis of localised prostate cancer, the cancer's confined within the gland, so they have no symptoms of it. And then over time, as the cancers grow, sometimes they do develop symptoms, but by the time they have symptoms of progressing disease, it's often too late to then try and cure the cancer. You have to then manage it. So the whole point of this study really is to look at, if you detect men with this PSA test early on, can you then treat it at that point and be successful?